I live in San Paulo those days, but I was born in Rio de Janeiro. I have two daughters, 20 and 19 years old. And I used to be, in the last 10 years, a consultant, and I helped some executives to get a little better results and solve some problems in a corporative uh, uh, level. And we are, of course, facing this new challenge in the world. And I would like to introduce you my vision about these days in Brazil.
Please.
We are living under three, I would say, three paradigm. Okay, we are living under the paradigm of medicine, the paradigm of economics, and paradigm of political world. Okay, and in Brazil, particularly, my point of view, we are putting the medicine paradigm and economic paradigms under the political paradigm. Okay, not because one person is good or other person is bad. I think we have developed a cultural system where the political is very important is a prior in the middle of other paradigm. So this is a point that I put in the center of the situation. But this is a kind of thing that I have no control of. I do not have control on this point, and I use, as an individual that I am, I used to put my focus on that point where I have control. So I have a little bit control in my customers, my clients, my family, my friends of my friends. So I have a area where I can put my influenciation, and inside the area that we have a lot of preoccupation or worry about that. So that's the way that I'm leading with these days, like the days that we are living to these days. Sorry.
Yeah. So
and sure.
Are you? How long have you been like in this type of isolation? I mean, how long ago did it start?
I am in this isolation for 25 days.
Wow.
I've been inside at my home since March 13 until today. I left home 3 or 4 times to go in the supermarket, and just for that. Okay, so 25 days at home, leading with the situation. Of course, when the situation changes a lot, we have to learn how to live in this new scenario. So I keep doing my job with my clients, but using online tools. And I think in those times we have to offer to the society and to the world that we live the best things that we have to offer. So we have developed some programs to executives, collaboratives, human resources in a lot of companies, to talk with them how to lead with this situation. Because the situation is for everybody. Wherever you are, whenever you were, this situation is present there. So this is not my choice, your choice, but this is an event. I have no management in this event, but I can manage what I can do with this. So that's why we have talked with some executives a few minutes before we beginning our conversation. I was talking about this point with Volkswagen, Fiat, GM, De Sutter is a European company, discussing with those executives, how can we lead with this situation, trying to keep in touch or trying to pay attention what we think, what we feel, what we can transform into a behavior, and what result we can get in despite of this environment or this situation. So that's the point that we have But my point of view, because as I said before, there are some things that I have control.
Yeah.
There are some things that I don't have control. So if I put my focus where I don't have control, it will get my energy, will get my power, and then I can do not anything. I will just be weak, and I cannot be part of the solution or be part of the problem.
Now, since you've been talking with a lot of business over there, is the perception like in Italy, for instance, people are letting people go home, they're kind of in a big, mainly restaurants and tourism, and there's a lot of things going on and a lot of concern about the future. And I was wondering, are the businesses there concerned? I mean, if this thing goes for long, there's going to be kind of a big breakdown for a lot of people now. How do you support them in facing the unknown? Because basically we're facing something we don't even know where it's going to go. So,
sure.
Do you have anything you do? I mean, I understand you help them stay focused on what they can control and not on what they cannot control, which is beautiful because they can do something about it. Is there anything else that you support them into? Because I would say, if I would be a CEO of a business, I would be quite concerned for my people, for what can I do for them, and can I do something for them, or is this going to go and then we're going to see what happens. So how is that conversation going? That's a pretty interesting conversation for me, at least.
Sure. For me too. But we have to talk a lot about the VUCA word,
Of course. Yeah.
This is a little bit old concept, 80s or the end of the Cold War, but it's very, very current, very present in our speech, in our conversation. But there are two kind of VUCA words. There is a word which is volatile, uncertainty, complex, and ambiguity.
Ambiguity, yeah.
Ambiguity. But we can change this paradigm to offer a little bit more confident word. Because when I hear about the VUCA word as it is, I'm being honest. It raised me a little bit. I feel a little bit anxiety, But when I talk about vision, about understanding, about clarity and agility, I can feel something different inside of myself. I can put a new energy inside me, and I can change it into a powerful capacity to make decision and transform the future. Once the future is a thing that I don't know, but I can imagine it.
Right.
Yeah, I think that we are managed about the things that we have been in the past. We use a lot of our past to project the future.
Yes.
But once the past is not, the future is not like the past anymore. Right. We have to imagine the future. We have to create scenarios. We have to use an applicative and an app that we have since we are boys and girls, little children, to imagine the future. We can to dream. We can to design it. I think the design is a very good expression to describe it. Then I have stimulating the executives to do this. Once you are in front of the company, leading a company, we are on ahead of everybody which are behind you. So we have to develop a condition to design the future, and then you can use the board of directors, your associates, you can use the collaborators, no problem. But we have the responsibility to design the future using the resources that you have inside the company, outside the company, inside yourself and outside yourself, and then design it, create a vision, understand the scenario that you are in, make the decision, choose the strategy and the action plans, and be agile to make it happen. So I think we can, once I can change my thoughts, I can change my feelings,
right.
And then I can change everything because it is inside myself. I have control about that, but I don't have control about what is outside myself. It is a strategy, I believe. Okay, strategy in the first part of the problem, strategy to survive, and the second part, a strategy to get prosperity.
Of course, yeah.
So we are leading day by day basis, you know.
Right. Now, and on the side of they call it social isolation, you know, they call it that way. You know, it seems like, you know, I mean, at least for us Italians, that's quite a painful story, because you know, we're used to be, you know,
following
with people,
very sad about that,
and very close to each other. And now it seems like people are, you know, very afraid to get close to one another. You know, as long as it is on video, is fine. You know, but then on the street, when I went to the supermarket, people were kind of trying, you know, to stay away from everybody. And you know, do you think that's going to affect the future of relationship? You know, because intimacy, at least to me, is one of the most important thing, you know, in human relationship, you know. And it seems like a threat to that in some ways, you know. I don't know, how is it there, because I know Brazil is kind of very warm, like we are in some ways,
like Italians.
Yes. So I was feeling around that, you know.
Sure, David. I think that we have to learn to live in a new normal way of life, you know. The time that I go to the supermarket, people keep a kind of distance.
Right.
One day I was in the supermarket. I put myself in front of the cash, okay, the cash where I pay the register, and a lady talked to me, hey, sorry, but I am on the line. Oh, sure. Sorry, but you are so far. Yeah, because the social isolation. So okay, I went out of the place that I was, and I go to the final the line. So I think that people, when this situation can be a little bit more calm, people will probably rearrange the way to go to the bars, to the theater, to the movies. I think that in the first part of the situation, most of ours will be a little bit a fear about the new situation. The relationship could be different. So I think that we have to learn a lot of things to how to live in this new normal way of life. Because another point that I think is very interesting to mention, I do not believe that it will disappear at the same way that it appears. You know, I think that we'll leave some waves of infection and some period of good times, and and after another waves. I think that the transformation is so hard that probably the world must to develop a way to manage and keep monitoring of those things, and the governments must to develop system to monitor the situation around the world, with most accurate or accuracy. I don't know. Much more accurate than they used to do is in war times. You know, it's a new kind of war. It's not a war with countries against other countries, but the some things that we as human beings we create, voluntary or not, which is working against of our species, our humankind, as I said. So I think that we have to reinvent the way of how to live our lives and life, and to become a new man, a new woman, a new mankind for the future.
No.
Am I clear? Am I clear?
You are clear as much as you can be clear, because we don't know where we're gonna end. You know, so you are clear. You are clear about the stand you're taking, and you're clear about how to look at this situation. At the same time, when you talk about a new kind of relationship, a new kind of life, that makes me wonder. You know, because I really am where you are. But I don't know how that's going to look like, you know, and at the same time, I kind of already miss, you know, some of the things that I didn't give value to before, because I was seeing my friends again and just, you know, getting around and side by side, not concerned about anything. And now you see that all these are going to be around, and how is that going to be? I need to be sensitive to others, you know, and then it becomes a little tricky, you know, just that, you know, just and when you say, you know, it is going to be a new kind of life, and I agree with you. Yet, you know, it remains kind of a question mark. Like, what was that? You know, what's that like? You know, and I don't know. Probably it's just an exploration phase. You know, again.
Yeah, it's a very important point, David, because I studied it when I was a little bit younger. I study business administration, and I built a career in a corporative world. I did a master program in the United States. I did a doctoral program in Argentina. I studied a lot of things concerning the corporate world. But one day, or one time of my life, I perceived that the most important thing in companies, families, hospitals, churches, is the individual, the human being, which you can find there. So I decided to study this point, how people work, how people do the things that they do, how people works in the several social organizations that we belong to. And then I decided to study philosophy and decided to study psychology. This year, I began a undergraduation program in psychology, and I study philosophy since last year, but this year is a little bit more with more discipline. And I can realize that we are facing an opportunity to first live with myself, first of all. When you see the timeline of our humankind, we can hear something from Egypt, Greece, Rome, and then the world that we know was built under those paradigms. But at the same time, we had in the time the East or the East culture that was more aligned with the internal vision, internal communication. I think that the whole I will try to explain to you with being very didactic. It's not didactic what I want to say, but we have the globalization changed some information from the Eastern to the East and the East to the Eastern. Right. But I think that the Eastern offer much more influence to the East than the opposite. I don't know if I'm
to the West. You mean to the West? The East, meaning like the Oriental culture is influencing a lot. The Western culture.
I think that we can balance it. I love to buy things. Don't discuss about that. But I love I think about this, how I feel about this. I love to go with the bar, to the pubs with my friends to drink beer. I would like to go to the bar to dance with my daughters, with my girlfriend. But I love to be with myself. I love to read some books. So we are in the point where we can choose about not exactly one thing or other thing, but one thing and other thing. You know, I can be with my family. I can be with myself. I can do everything that I want. But there are some people in the planet that they decide to freeze the mental model. I just can be fine. I just can be happy if I go to the bar. I just can be happy if I go to this movie. Okay, no problem. There is not right or wrong, but it will bring you consequences. That's why I think that we are in the very good point to decide what consequences we want to my life. I want to my life in the future as a result that I want to my life. You know, consequences are results. So if you want to think about like this, if you want to think this way, no problem. But don't want to think this way and wait for other results. You know,
right.
That's the how beautiful this situation can offer to me, to you, or for everyone, to decide who I want to be in the time I am being. You know, this is a very important opportunity that we are facing, and we can decide this and be in probably phase out of this moment much bigger than when we face it.
That's beautiful. You know, one thing you're saying, because I've been in the lockdown, I kind of went in before it started officially. So I'm been in the house since the beginning of March. I have
Sure.
two older kids that live with their mother, and I have two younger kids here. And there are days in which you said it's good to learn how to live with yourself, and there are days I wake up, I don't really like to stay with myself, just like but there are days in which I accept myself, and seems like in this month I've been going back and forth, but realizing how much I distract myself from myself through the things I do, and now being here, I can really stop and think. And even though it's one of the best practices, at times it's so difficult for me to accept that part of my life, because I've been so caught into consumism and just go out and do the work. I remember in January I had the whole year planned out, and it was beautiful here, and then all of a sudden in March everything gets stuck, and it's really and now I'm facing myself in the mirror. Some days I like myself, some days I don't like myself. Some days I'm very kind with people around me, some days I'm just grumpy, and I go through all these experiences, and yet I have to stay, because that's really the discipline, I believe, to remain and to get it through, because I can feel the emotions, but yet, as you say, I need to be able to live with myself, and this is a great opportunity to learn that, or to recover that, because we all know how to do it, but sometimes we forget about it because it's easier to get entertained by whatever is around. And I think that's really important. What you're saying, I think that's why I'm adding that, because I think it has a lot of value. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and I think that we have to keep this conversation, because this is a situation that will be finished.
Yeah,
it's not
it will be over.
It will be over. So we can discuss about this. We have to keep this kind of mindset. But if I know that it will be forever, probably this conversation could be completely different.
Yes.
So this is a time.
Temporary.
We are taking a temporary time, to learn about what we live, how we lived in the past, and how we want to live in the future. I think that the future will not be the same which was the past, but we can adapt. We are human being. Human being is human being because we adapt the way we can live, and we can adapt the way we can have a good time, the way we can express our most hot feelings that we have. We have to learn about this. If we definitely we valorize the life, as we said, probably some people would be a little bit crazy. They will lost the conscious, and then can go to the live for everything or nothing. You are in the time where do you remember when we discovered the AIDS virus?
Yes.
It was a bang information. It was very, very the warrior thing in that time, and a lot of people decreed to themselves the diet sentence, and they go to the life for everything. We are balancing this, and I think we have an opportunity to balance the life, with very big situation of happiness, and understand how the sadness is part of the project. We live in a dual life. We have the chaos, we have the order, we have the happiness, the sadness,
Yes.
we have the good, we have the bad. So sometimes I think that this moment in the humankind is to someone say stop and think about, step away ahead,
Right.
see the scenario, and decide who you want to be in the future, and who you want to be for yourself and for the others.
That's great.
Okay, because we are seeing some countries depending of others. We are seeing some companies depending of others, and when you depend, you cannot be a lead, you cannot govern. We have to discover a way to keep an society we can interdependent. Okay,
Yes.
we can depend with you, not of you.
Okay.
We can construct something together. That's why I think that ONU is ONU in Portuguese, but the UN,
yeah, ONU,
the Union Nations must to help with this new world to be in charge. The World Health Organization needs to work to construct this new way of life. So we have a huge opportunity to redesign the way that we habit the earth, the way that we keep contact, the way that we do relationship, and be better than we used to be in the past.
So it's a great opportunity, you're saying, you know, to review what we've been and go where we want to go. No, I mean, Luis, thank you very, very much for this conversation. It's very deep, and there's a lot to think about through what you're saying. And, you know, I gotta ask you if maybe in time, in a couple of weeks or 3, I might call you back and see how things are going. So we'll just go on with this. But so far, I really want to thank you for your contribution. And I just want to say, you know, be safe, be strong, and let's design together the future. Okay.
Let's do this, David. Thank you so much for your invitation.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Nice to know you. Very pleasure to know you. Consider you are a friend of mine so far, and for the future.
Thank you.
And if you want anything, my name is Binato. It's an Italian name.
Binato,
you know? Binato, yeah. So we probably share a lot of customs, a lot of values.
Yes, I can tell. I can tell. That's beautiful.
I'm completely you're available for your.
It's a great pleasure.
Whenever you want.
It's a great pleasure to meet you and a great pleasure to hear you. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Luis.
Thank you so much.
All right. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye. Be safe. Bye-bye. Stay home. Bye.